Hello, my name is Marcel Gaspard, and I hope you enjoy this presentation on ancient Greek philosophy and architecture. I will be presenting on the philosophy piece, and Jamie will follow with Greek architecture. What is philosophy? Philosophy, by definition, is the study of ideas about knowledge, truth, the nature and meaning of life, and the pursuit of wisdom. Philosophy is important because it allows humanity to grow and invent new things. Without ancient Greek philosophers questioning ideas, we would not know the knowledge we know today. The first philosopher I would like to talk about is Thales. Aristotle considered him the founder of natural philosophy. He was the first to explain phenomena without crediting mythology or the gods for the event occurring. He created the scientific method and believed the earth rests on an underlying property, arche, which he believed was water. He created the study of astronomy, introduced geometry, and predicted the first solar eclipse. Pythagoras is another important ancient Greek philosopher who is well known for his theorem in geometry, known as the Pythagorean theorem: a squared plus b squared equals c squared. He also founded his own school who, outside of the norm, allowed women to attend and participate equally to their male counterparts. Pythagoras believed in metempsychosis, in which the soul of the dead is reborn into another body. The following quotation emphasizes his belief in reincarnation. As Pythagoras walked past a dog that was being hurt, he said, "Stop, don't hit it. It is the soul of a friend. I knew it when I heard its voice." Next, there's Anaximander, who invented the gnomon, which is a part of the sundial that casts the shadow. He also drew the first map of the world. Anaximander was fascinated with nature and believed the universe's basic principle was derived from nature. Anaximenes was the first to develop the theory of change. He believed the underlying base of the universe was air because air is neutral but can take various shapes under different temperatures. For example, he believed when air is thin, it becomes fire. When it is condensed, it becomes first wind, then cloud, then water, then earth, then stone. He found in metaphysics understanding change came from motion, which is eternal. Empedocles was a poet, doctor, and philosopher. Instead of focusing on one thing as a basic component of the universe, he believed in four elements: earth, air, fire, and water to be base of the universe. He believed change to be rooted for the four basic elements. He believed perception is based on the properties of the pores in the material. Objects emit portions of themselves which mingle with our sense organs to allow us to perceive them. Empedocles estimated the moon was one-third the distance from the earth to the sun. Leucippus invented the atomist theory, which says that all matter is made up of invisible particles, and the universe to be solid. Xenophanes was the founder of the Eleatic school of philosophy. He was considered to be the first skeptic of multiple gods and the human god characters of Homer and Hesiod. He believed there to be one god. The Greeks inspired brilliance in their time through philosophy. The Greeks were the first people to question what no one else would dare to doubt. Philosophers challenged religion and the idea of God and goddesses as a myth. Their novel thinking also led to the inventions of science and mathematics. Greek philosophers are impressive because their systematic thinking allowed them to be objective. This thinking led to the great invention of science. Their ideas also helped open minds and promote freedom of thought and speech. Greek philosophers were not just smart, they were competitive with each other. This worked out well because it brought about constant advancements in science, mathematics, literary works, and art. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation about ancient Greek philosophy.
Ancient Greek architecture. Minoan architecture, 2000 to 1400 BC. Named after the mythical king Minos, the center was in Crete. The origins were not Greek, but they deeply influenced the Mycenaeans, who were Mycenaean, 1550 to 1100 BC. These were a warlike Greek-speaking people. They used wealth to build citadels. They were rich in gold. The Lion Gate was built in 1280 BC, and this tomb to the right is the treasury of Atreus. Tiryns and Pylos, 1500 to 1150 BC. Tiryns, the mighty citadel, massive wall built 20 feet high, believed that only Cyclops could build this massive structure. It was reconstructed in the 13th century BC with Minoan-style outer propylaeum. The palace of Nestor at Pylos was built of ashtar stone around a timber frame with timber pillars, making it vulnerable to fire. The building was burned down in 1200 BC. 1100 to 600 BC. This was a group of people who called themselves Hellenists. They were influenced by the Egyptian temples. Stone was not used. The oldest piece was found a cross between a temple and a tomb, with a stone base but mud brick walls. Later they started building with terracotta, which was fired clay, after 700 BC. This picture shows a terracotta roof. Origins of the Greek temple, 600 to 530 BC. Construction of early stone temples. They used crude Doric columns. Doric is a fluted grooved column rising from the ground. It looks sort of like a tree trunk, considered to be masculine. Development of the Greek temple, 530 to 430 BC. The temples of Aphaea, goddess of sailors and hunters. It was built of limestone, also a Doric-style temple, originally faced with cream-painted marble stucco, now it is pale. Ionic temple, 560 to 400 BC. A more slender and graceful style of column. This was seen as feminine. First appeared on two temples, the Hieron at Samos and the Artemisian temples. Most decorative form of column. Flowers and leaves below a small scroll. Corinthian roofs were flat. Used more by the Romans than the Greeks. First theaters. The Greeks built the first theaters to stage plays. They were always open to the sky. They were simple semicircle of wooden benches. Most beautiful and preserved was the Epidaurus in Peloponnese.